Episode 37 of the Planet Nintendo podcast. Let's see what's on the menu for today. PN picks, some game recommendations from the gang. Mario Tennis impressions. The demo just came out, so we're going to give our thoughts. E3 leaks, good for the industry. Do we like them? We'll go over that. And Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu possibly staying longer than just one game. So let's get it started. What's up, guys? Episode 37 of the Planet Nintendo podcast. I am your host, Patrick from NintenTalk, and joined, like always, by the best co-host on the planet, Joe from Joe After Work. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on? I'm super quiet today. Let's see how successful that is.
All right, so me and Jesse are going to make Joe laugh as loud as he can. Speaking of Jesse, welcome to the podcast, Turbo Jesse. What's up, dude?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm a huge fan of the show. I think I've watched almost every episode, so very excited to be on. I was here from the start. I think I was here for episode 0, so
wow,
long road.
Nice.
I'm proud of you guys, and I'm very happy to be a part of this episode.
Oh man, you put up with Bobby. Jeez.
I know, it was rough. I almost had to jump off, but once he left, I got back in deep.
That's awesome. So Jesse, before we start, why don't you tell us and everyone watching about your channel, what you do over there?
Thank you. Great. Yeah, so my channel's been around for about 6 weeks. I talk about everything gaming, mostly Nintendo and PlayStation. I don't really cover the news and that kind of stuff. I like to do discussion videos, prediction videos, game theory videos, and I just bought a capture card about 2 weeks ago. So since then, I've been live streaming almost every day. I kind of caught the bug. Mostly Splatoon 2, which I stopped playing for about 3 months. So when I jump back in, there's so much new content. It's like a brand new game.
Dude, so good.
And obviously been streaming a little bit of Mario Tennis, but we'll get back to that later.
Nice.
So Turbo Jesse, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, all over the place.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of live streaming, I saw you were live streaming Fox and Forest, one of my favorite indie releases. How'd you like that?
So I'm so happy you brought that up because on my list of notes I wanted to bring up. So I love that game, right? It's a classic. I feel like it's more of a Genesis game than it was Super Nintendo, but I really like it. But I do have one big pet peeve. So it's kind of a collectathon a little bit. To advance to next levels and worlds, you have to collect these special nuts. And in order to do that, you have to replay the levels multiple times. And these nuts are so well hidden that sometimes you'll play it like 2 or 3 times and can't find any of them. So my question for you guys is, have you guys beaten the game? Have you guys gotten stuck? Like, where are you guys at?
I'm pretty far. I beat 3 bosses, so there's 4, right?
Yeah, I think there's 5. I think there's like a special 5th season. So I'm right where you are. I beat 3 bosses. I'm on the 4th world, and I'm just like stuck. Some of the boards are so hard, and I just can't. And I like replay the level, can't find any seeds, and I kind of just like put it down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's totally a throwback to the 90s. It even has like a slap bass, like the soundtrack is just so like old school.
So good.
Yeah.
So the music's amazing in that game.
Yeah, it's really good.
So, there's this level where it's like almost like an old school Sonic level where the water is like kind of chasing you, but there's a boss chasing you up, and the music is so intense and it's just like
That's awesome. But speaking of some indie games and some games in general, let's start out with PM picks. So Joe, what have you been playing? What do you recommend? Anything coming out?
Yeah, there's definitely one that I recommend that I think is going to fall off everyone's radar because it's so not that. I mean, this game had 0 marketing on the Switch. It's called Icy. It's a side-scrolling hack and slash game. It's so weird. There's so many different like references to different games and different people in the gaming industry. In this game, within like the first like 10-15 minutes, it's got a little bit of Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, Portal. Oh gosh, there was another game that's sort of like narrative driven, and then the characters like telling you where you need to, the narrator's telling you where you need to go, and if you ignore him, he kind of like badgers you about not going the right way.
Well, Navi, right?
Yeah, not Navi. No. Oh my god, it was a PC game. Can't remember the name of it. You're in an office and you're walking around, and the narrator's like telling you where to go.
Is that game out now, or is it coming out?
It's out now. It came out it came out on Tuesday or Thursday. But yeah, at its core, it's just a hack and slash game. but it's really, really good. The combat feels like Muramasa, just at a
man.
further distance. So that's like right up your alley, Pat, dude.
Sold.
Yeah, it's not, and it's $10. It's $9.99. Like
Yep.
that. I think it might have been a mobile game, and the only reason I say that is because I veered off the direction of what the narrator told me to go, and he kind of gave me crap about it, and I ended up in a stage that was unfinished, and he was like, well, you caught me. Like, I spent 10 years on this game, and forgive me, cut me some slack here. But then he's like, you go off for like 5-10 minutes in this stage and you can't get out of it. Like, he's like, all right, well, you found this, now I'm gonna talk. And he sends you back to this gallery, and you're just looking at, like, he's just talking about like how he spent 10 years on this game and the different ideas that he came up with, and this is literally the second stage of the game that I found this
wow
in. Yeah.
And that's called what? Icy?
Icy, yeah. ICEY.
What's the difficulty rating? You think it's pretty hard? Because you seem to get...
It's really easy to get a grasp of. I'd say it's right in the middle to like pretty damn easy to get going. You got your heavy, your light, your jump. And like you can do like your special finisher or whatever once you've got your enemy knocked down, and then you can build up combos that way too.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
That looks dope. Jesse, what about you, man? Any new games you picked up?
Yeah, so there's one game I picked up earlier this week. I saw some people doing some Let's Plays of it, and it sucked me right in. It's called Yuka's Island Express. You guys familiar with this game at all?
That's that like pinball.
Yeah, it's basically a 2D platformer exploration game meets pinball, which is like very unique mashup. So you play as this bug who's attached to this pinball, and so you have to go through the boards, but you really travel through using pinball controls. So it's the R and L switch, and it's really an exploration game. Get in this square, but this you can go anywhere you want. It's a collectathon. There's boss battles. Interesting characters, good graphics. It's $19.99 on the eShop now. I think it's on all platforms. But this is one of those games like I didn't even know about until I was like just searching the eShop and like searching YouTube. And it's not like there's not a ton of depth in this game. So, but like a 15-minute burst, you could just have like a good time and like explore a little bit. So I definitely recommend it.
Damn. So I've been playing. I've been playing Fox and Forest, but it's kind of hard because it is a hard game and you get kind of discouraged a little bit. But speaking of hard games, I bought Slain Back to Hell. It is a platformer from hell because it is so goddamn hard. But it's regular $19.99. It's on sale right now for $6. I don't know if it'll be on sale by the time this comes out. I think it might be still. But it is a really, really fun game. It has like a metal soundtrack. Like you feel like a badass. But it has really good mechanics, like you can use magic and a giant sword. Also, I mentioned Fox and Forest like months ago. This is the new game. It's coming out Q3. It's already available on Xbox, PS4. It's called Moonlighter. This is a dungeon crawling game where you basically like go into different dungeons and collect like treasure and stuff, and each room that you go in gets harder and harder. Now the catch is you're also a shop owner, so you need to sell these like treasures that you get to make a profit at your store. So it's kind of like risk reward. It is roguelike, but not in the sense where if you die, it's not permadeath. It's just kind of like generated dungeon levels and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. But if you guys have other platforms, it's available on that right now. So that's one I'm looking forward to.
Actually, I heard about that game, and somebody was comparing it to like a Zelda. It was like a Zelda like love letter. Ugh. Because it's like there's like four dungeons you have to go through. They're generated, so like every time you go through them, sometimes it'll be real easy, you get to the boss quickly, other times it's like impossible, but then you go back to the shop and you like sell all your collectibles, so it's a kind of little game mechanic. But definitely I've only heard good things about that one, so
yeah, good pick. So I've seen a couple reviews. I mean, it is $19.99, so it's kind of like some of the top tier ones. Also, where is this? I was patient, guys. I picked up Owlboy Physical. I was patient. I picked it up. Nice. And I've only played, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 minutes of it. It's really good so far, but I can't really give opinions yet.
Yeah, looks fun. That game came out right when Faya came out. I remember it was like I was in between those two games, and then I was like, Faya.
Yeah.
Maybe Owlboy one day, but Owlboy does look amazing.
Yeah, dude, like pixel art, like that's pixel art. That's like really good pixel art. But there's another big release finally. Finally, the Nintendo Switch gets some new stuff. Mario Tennis Aces, the demo came out, and it's still available at the time of this recording till tomorrow. But I wanted to, or Jesse actually brought this up. He wanted to get our impressions on this.
All right, it's time to talk tennis, guys.
Oh,
all right.
I wish I had the headband, man.
If it's tennis time, I got to put my headband.
Oh, man.
We're talking tennis now, man. We're talking tennis.
Here we go. So I will start with Jesse, man. How do you like this game so far?
So I am smitten, right? I was hyped for this, but when I started playing it, I just fell in love. I do want to start off by saying this game is probably not for anybody. If you're not into tennis games, like if you played tennis games in the past, there's a good chance you're not going to be into this game. They did add a lot of depth and mechanics to it to make it more interesting for like people that just aren't into tennis, but I love it. I've been playing. I probably put like 8 hours in this weekend. Got a blister on my thumb to show for it. Unlocked all the characters. Just like a lot of depth. But yeah. What do you guys think? I'm really curious to hear what other people are thinking.
Joe, you were trying it last night, man.
Man, how 24 hours makes a freaking difference. Holy crap. Like everyone was just insanely good. When I got on Saturday night, that was the first time I had played it. So I was like 4 games in probably when you jumped into the stream. And I was like getting my butt handed to me, man. But I think
it's the Dark Soul of tennis games, man.
Dude, I was like, what's happening here? So I got like 2 wins, I think, like 2 or 3 wins out of like the 10 that I got to do before I had to head to work. But I think Peach is like probably like gonna be my mainstay for a while. She was like, I don't know, I just felt like she moved the best in terms of all the characters, and I do like how each character kind of like in Mario Kart has their specific stats. Mm-hmm. They have their specific play style. So like Peach is technical, Mario's your all around, Yoshi's your speedy, and Bowser's got your power. So I'd like to see, and I'm calling it right now. I think everyone online is gonna be playing with Rosalina, and with that stupid curve, man. That's gotta.
It's unfair. That's OP. That's OP.
Dude,
not fair.
That's ridiculous. Like, come on now. Like every time she swatted, it was just like curve. Ooh. I had one player that like hit the ball. It went straight and then curved and just dropped down off like to the right enough that it wasn't off court, and I lost a point over it. I was like,
wow,
dude, what the hell? And it wasn't like it was like the first hit of the match, so like I couldn't even use like any of my time stuff to like get over there and freaking hit the ball.
That's a good point though, because there are a few things that I've noticed that are like way too OP. Like if you go all the way to the right and serve, the person has to be all the way to their side too to get it. So I don't know if this is
good.
He knows all the terms, but I feel like this might be a way that Nintendo kind of like goes in and sees like, okay, how are people exploiting different things? Like I guarantee the Rosalina curve will be kind of like nerfed a little bit. Better. But here's the thing. So I'm a little biased because out of all the sports games, tennis is my favorite in terms of Mario. So I actually liked Ultra Smash. I know I'm in the minority right now. As a whole, the game wasn't that great. Like there wasn't a lot to it, but they actually recycled quite a bit from Ultra Smash. Like I was watching a video today comparing just the celebration animations, and they're exact. Like it's the same. But the thing that is the most improved over Ultra Smash is just the ball mechanics and like the physics and stuff. It's I think this new game is a lot more forgiving. Like if someone like spikes it, you have a lot more time to react. And of course that new, like if you hit the right stick over, you kind of just like the moonwalk, Waluigi's moonwalk.
Yeah, the trick shots are amazing. Exactly. Waluigi, moonwalk. He's my main squeeze. I think Peach does like a somersault. Mario does like his regular like jumping stuff. Yoshi turns into an egg. But that trick shot, I'm telling you, that trick shot, you could get any ball with that thing. If you're pointing in the right direction, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it keeps the volleys going too. Like it makes it a fun game. Like I remember Ultra Smash was very quick matches and you get discouraged quick and just like end the game. But this one, I mean, I had matches that were going on forever. Like I was at the edge of my seat, like, come on, Spike.
Spike spits the ball out of his mouth to serve it. So
Oh yeah, it's
unbelievable. So pro tip for you guys, right? And anybody listening for when the game comes out.
Okay.
So it's all I think one of the main mechanics of the game that people kind of forget, but it's all about creating energy and making those energy shots.
Yep.
So if you stand towards the back of the court, you have more time to charge up your energy and then you gain more. So I kept losing because you kind of gravitate towards the net. It's important to stay back. When you're back, you have more time to react and you could get more energy. So definitely try that and it'll definitely help you a lot.
Okay. So guys, if you want to beat Jesse, just do a bunch of drop shots.
You'll never beat me. You'll never beat me.
Ooh.
But I've been addicted to this game, and it's only one small sliver. I cannot wait for the story mode, doubles, like being able to play with your friends. Like I know I'm sure we're gonna set up tournaments with like everybody in our Discord. Right, it's gonna be so much fun.
That's another thing too, because I feel like people are like very, very critical over this game already. Like what they're showing us right now are the fundamentals, like how to play, how to use like different combos and stuff like that. The main game, like that's like a third of the game. Like the story mode, I think is going to be the big like selling point to this game. The boss battles look cool. I think I saw like a few mini games in the trailer, so I like what I see so far. I mean, I was going to get it day one anyway, but
of course,
this is just a sliver of how this game plays.
Have you guys experienced any lag or like getting disconnected?
Yes.
I didn't get disconnected, but I actually went red bar for like 10 seconds mid-match and then went right back up. Ow.
Yeah, I've multiple times had lag and like gotten kicked out of matches. Sometimes you can't start matches, but like out of the 8 hours I put into it, it only happened a handful of times. I was actually playing this morning, and it's Sunday morning, so maybe like a lot of people are playing right now, so the servers are a little overworked.
Yep.
But I just hope that's fixed, especially when we start paying for online. I don't want any of that crap once I'm giving my money for it.
Yeah. When I first started, I say like maybe like 1 out of every 4 matches was disconnected or was bad, and I was kind of worried, but I think the servers got a little better. I played a few matches this morning, and it was good, ran well. So
one more point I wanted to make. I hope there's a good way of ranking with your opponents, because right now you can be a beginner and match up against somebody that's been playing for 10 hours. Sometimes it's very unfair. I hope they like even that out and kind of maybe put classes like if you don't have that many points, you get with another guy that doesn't have that many points. There's no fun just to get like your brains blown out with your first game.
Yeah.
Joe, let's play after this, Joe.
Yo, you gotta teach me your ways.
It is fun on the other side when you just destroy somebody and they can't even return your service.
But yeah, just real quick to that tournament thing. I'm gonna try to set up something where we do like weekly showdowns with Mario Tennis over on the stream. So you guys want to join in?
Oh hell yeah!
Probably
Definitely.
do like every Friday or Saturday or something like that for like a couple hours or something.
This game will probably be the big game of the summer, right? This June release. The odds of them releasing something big in July are probably not that high, right? Maybe Yoshi, maybe. And then Smash is probably going to be end of the summer. So this is going to be like the summer game, I think, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they have like Sushi Striker coming out, but I feel like that's not. They're marketing it as a big game, but it's very, some people are going to buy it. But yeah, that's a cool point to make, because Mario Tennis is one of their biggest games and one of their only new games. Like I feel like this will be the game that people will buy. A lot of people skipped Kirby, a lot of people skipped Labo, so I think this is one of the bigger releases. Yeah, Joe, how's that cardboard going?
Yo, I just put the Labo box in the closet yesterday. I rearranged everything on my desk yesterday. Like, well, I don't need this. My piano's still right up there.
I want to go on eBay and actually buy a pre-made fishing rod just to have a prop. I have no interest in playing it. I have no interest in building it, but I kind of want it.
I'm waiting for it to get that red tag. $20. There we go.
I mean, it's doing good everywhere else. It's just, I don't think it was meant for the States.
A little ambitious.
Yeah.
So kind of speaking of E3, we have a new term this year. It is called E3 Purists. And for some reason, everyone wants to be an E3 Purist this year. and they like leaks are like the plague, and people want to avoid them. And I wanted to kind of bring this up on the podcast and kind of get your guys' opinion of how you feel about E3 leaks, and do you think they're good for the industry? Your personal feelings, because of course I have some feelings about this, but I'll start with Jesse.
So, I mean, my feelings might be different than the masses, but I think leaks are very good for the industry. You know, it builds up hype, you know. Like, I don't need E3 to be one day. When there's a new game out, I just want to know about it. I'm not like a 6-year-old waiting for Christmas. It needs to be on this one day. I want I want to know about what's coming out as soon as possible. And if you think about it, only the true like fanboys and fangirls of video games, they're the only people that really pay attention to E3. The masses don't, you know. So if someone gets an alert that Metroid Prime 4 released 2018, why do you have to wait till June 13th if that information is available May 15th or whatever?
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sort of on both sides of it. Like, I used to be very like, no, I want to find out when I get all the information, because sometimes you don't know whether it could be true or not. And probably within the last, I'd almost say since doing this show here with you guys, is like I've sort of like turned around on it, and like I understand it from a business standpoint. Yeah, everything that Jesse's saying, right on. Like, we are all up in there, but for, you know, Joe Schmo who plays Call of Duty and then leaks out that, you know, new Call of Duty game comes out and everyone's talking about it. Hey, if he finds out that way and then hears about this E3 thing, then maybe he tunes in, and that's just one more eye on the product right there. But yeah, I think leaks, depending on what the leak is, could be good for gamers. I think the Let's Go was probably the perfect example of something like that, although it's related, but like it got a lot of people talking over the last month, all the things of what this thing could be. And most recently with like the Fallout 76 stuff. I know it's not Nintendo related, but it's got people talking. And you know, people are like, is this going to be a multiplayer game? Is this not? And it's kind of got the rumblings there. So maybe we find out more about that at E3. And this is kind of like the lead up, like the baby steps getting towards it.
Yeah. It's kind of sad to say, but E3 is not what it once was, and it doesn't mean like a lot like it once was. Like, you're even seeing it now, like Nintendo, I think PlayStation this year, it's now a digital event. Like it's not really this big presentation where people come out. It's gotten a lot better, because before I remember it was more for like shareholders and like, oh, this is what we're going to do and this is how much money we're going to make, and like gamers don't want to hear that. But it would be different if we got the games at E3. Like they said, here are the games. Like, all we're getting from E3 is information. Like, and I don't know about you guys, but when that Star Fox leak, which is still like a rumor at this point, it's nothing confirmed, my first reaction wasn't, damn it, I wanted to wait for E3. Mine was, holy crap, they're making another Star Fox game. Like, after the bomb that was Zero. Like, it gets me excited. And if I'm like an Assassin's Creed fan and Odyssey leaked, I would be like, wow, I want to know more information, not like, please don't tell me this stuff. But I think that there's two different like groups of people. There's the hardcore people who know all this insider information and don't want things to get leaked, and then there's the casual people who find out this information like on an article on Facebook or Twitter. So I think that they're gonna hear the information the same way. It's just when they hear it. And I think for the casual consumers, earlier is better than later. So I don't really have a problem with it. I just think that I think this is like one of the first years. It happened a little bit last year where people are genuinely mad about like everything leaking.
Was it last year or 2016 where like everything leaked? And I feel like that's what's happening right now. Again, like a repeat 2 years ago.
Yeah,
everything is.
Well, yeah, let's be real. The video game community, especially the hardcore guys, are mad about everything, right? So, I mean, for me personally, like this retro Star Fox game, I'm so happy it leaked. So we had like 6 weeks or 2 months of time to talk about it, speculate, predict, hate on it, love it. Like and if there's no leak, I mean, it would be a great moment when it was unveiled. But then it's like, all right, now it's there. Now we can talk about it. And also, people have to remember, as many leaks as there are, there's still going to be plenty of surprises, right?
Oh yeah.
It's still going to be that big game that people are doing reaction videos, screaming and running out of their house naked on. You know, it's like
Me.
oh my god, my boy's coming out this summer.
No, but it's true, because even the things that do get leaked, like last year, Mario Rabbids, like that whole idea of the crossover, I guess that was spoiled. But when you actually saw the game, you were like, wow, this is nothing what I expected. So it's kind of like you're ruining like Christmas for gamers. But when you think about it, you're only getting information. Like,
sorry guys, Santa Claus isn't real. All right.
Damn it.
And with Mario Rabbids, I almost think it helped the game because there was so much negativity surrounded around that leak. So when the game was actually unveiled and like it was a great trailer and all that stage presence, I think it built up the game even more and built up a hype level that might have not been there if it was just like a surprise.
Yeah. And there's kind of this newer thing that's happening this year. A couple of games got leaked or talked about, like the Sonic Racing and the Assassin's Creed. And I like how the developers are like, fuck it, let's throw out a trailer. And like you saw like the Sonic Racing teaser and then the Assassin's Creed thing. Do you think companies like leak it themselves sometimes?
100%. That Sonic thing, I think, was 100%. They had it leaked, and then they're, I guess we got to show off this 2-minute trailer because we didn't actually spend the time to make a real trailer for it.
Ubisoft in particular is just terrible with hiding information.
Yeah, they're bad.
Every time Assassin's Creed came, I think it was Unity. When Unity got leaked out like a year ahead, it was because someone was drawing something on an airplane and someone was asking them what they were working on. And they said Assassin's Creed Unity. I was like, what? It was either that or Tomb Raider. I can't remember which one exactly.
I think it was Unity.
It was Unity, yeah.
I remember hearing that.
And then I forget. The Shadow of the Tomb Raider one. That's been like 3 years now that was announced or not announced, but like leaked.
I want Shadow of the Uncharted, not Tomb Raider. I guess this ties in with Nintendo a little bit. It's a little off topic, but the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like, what are they thinking calling it Odyssey when the biggest Odyssey game in the world came out like 5 months ago?
That's ballsy.
Ballsy, right? Like, I'm sure you've seen all those like mock-up box art with like Mario throwing the hat, and it's like Atreus throwing the hat or something.
Maybe this is how they spin the DLC pack too.
Oh my god!
Or like the actual DLC pack for this
little Ezio costume.
He just comes in. Wahoo!
I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, but even I think that's kind of weird. That's a weird name. But yeah, I mean, I would kind of embrace like the community getting hyped about all this information. It's once a year, and it's what, in like less than, I mean, probably like 10 days or like a week at this point. Like just embrace all the leaks. Yeah, like I was seeing people that were like unsubbing from people that were talking about leaks and like hiding different keywords on Twitter. It's just like, dude, either get off the internet or just like accept what's happening. Because like if something gets leaked, Game Explain's gonna put it up. Like even like Google and like, I don't know, just like other websites. You're just gonna
be on Twitter within seconds. And
yeah,
it's not like the story's being spoiled.
Exactly. That's 100%. You're not getting like the final boss cutscene or something.
Exactly.
Like that. I mean, this is just my personality, and people might disagree, but it's not like well, there might be some 11-year-olds and 10-year-olds who video games are very, very, very important parts of their lives. But if you're an adult and you see a leak, it's not the end of it's not the end of the world. It shouldn't ruin your night. Just move on. All right, yeah. I read one headline. You don't need to click on the image. You know, like
and you don't necessarily have to.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. How many of these leaks are false? I know Nintendo had a leak this past week. There was like a card that was supposed to have a bunch of games that are replayable on the floor. Yeah. A few days later, I found like 3 more that looked exactly like it, but had like other games on it. You know, like this Fire Emblem game and all this stuff it's just obviously fake, and people are trying to troll and get some attention.
Yeah. If you are looking at the Star Fox Racing logo and that's all we got, how much do you actually know about that game? Like, seriously. And our main event, our main topic is brought to you by Joe this week. So why don't you explain this?
Holy crap. Okay. So I think we're on to something here, guys. Another PNP first right now.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we were talking about Pokemon Let's Go last week, how this is going to take the story of Yellow version, and sort of, whether it's a full on, make of this game or imagining retelling. I believe they worded it imagining of this game. So take that for what it's worth. If this game does really good, which I intend to anticipate on it being gangbusters, regardless of, what are saying that aren't on the side of, buying this game right now. Do you guys think that they continue this as either a bi-yearly series, so that way this gives the mainline RPG, the Gen 8s, the Gen 9s, and so on and so forth, more time for development on consoles? Or if it does gangbusters, we already have Pokemon Go. What, Gen 3 Pokemon are coming out right now, Patrick, for Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go Gen 3 is out.
Okay.
Now they're kind of dabbling with a lot of forms.
Okay. That's right with the executors. That's hysterical. But could you also see this as like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee as like standalone, and they build off DLC for that, and slowly adding in Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, and their respective regions, but with the caveat it being, Crystal version, Emerald version, like focusing on those, because we've already had remakes of, Red Blue or Red Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and so on and so forth. We had those two versions sort of already remade. We've never had like Yellows, the Crystals, the Ultimate Edition. They saved those for Let's Go.
I think Nintendo's going to be in an interesting predicament, a good predicament, because I think that we are talking about the best-selling Switch game. When it's all said and done, like over Odyssey, over Breath of the Wild, Pokemon is on a different level, and it's scary sometimes because they're almost bigger than Nintendo. They just sell games. They have one of the most hardcore fan bases. Not saying that I like the fan base, but I think that they're going to run into something where this is going to sell really, really well. And for the people that are saying this is not a core or hardcore game, they're literally remaking the game that started it all. Like, this is a core game. It does have Pokemon Go elements. We're going to debate. We're going to debate, Jesse. I will say this, though, and I've said this before. I think that if you're talking about the mainline titles, I think that adding Pokemon Go elements is the bad decision. I think that Pokemon Go peaked, and I don't see it growing. I think that it had its time. It's still insanely popular because there's a big Pokemon Go community. I don't agree with that part of it. You're taking a lot away from traditional Pokemon games. You're taking away Pokemon not being in the wild. You're taking away weakening Pokemon, battling Pokemon to catch them. There's also no breeding in this game, which kind of makes sense because it is Gen 1. But in terms of the competitive scene, I know that that's a really big thing with breeding and learning new moves. I'm kind of indifferent about this because I feel like I'm going to like this game, but I'm also a big Pokemon Go fan. So, but I think this game is going to sell, and they're definitely going to make like a Crystal or Silver or Gold or something like that. But that's just my take.
So you think Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee is going to be the best-selling game, or you think the one in 2019 is going to be the best-selling game?
I think that this might outsell that one.
You're saying like at the end of the Switch's life cycle, best-selling game?
Like 3 years. Whenever game's been out for a year, which game do you think Odyssey,
or that
Zelda, or Let's Go will be the best-selling?
Oh, I think that this is definitely going to be Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. Just like I don't know the numbers of Sun and Moon, but I want to say it was like 20-something million, like crazy numbers, and that's on a 3DS. So I think that at least like half of the people that have a Switch are going to buy this game. Like, and the people that don't have a Switch are going to buy a Switch for this game, especially in Japan where they're now coming out with the handheld only Switch. Which, like, at that point, why even own a 3DS? Like, you're getting your Pokemon game, you're getting your handheld, and they're gonna be bundled. Like, it's gonna be a thing.
That box looked sexy. Just saying.
It does.
It does.
But Jesse, you were kind of shaking your head earlier. Like, what do you think?
So I'm an old school Pokemon guy. Like I'm a Gen 1er for sure. Like Red and Blue were my jam. I love them. Those were the games that I grew up on. Like I played a little bit with some of the later ones, but never felt that hook. But when they announced at last year's E3, they're working on a core new RPG Pokemon. My hype went through the roof. This was going to be my first game back in. I played a little bit of Go, but like, I played it for like a month and then, never again. But this was going to be my game. So when they unveiled Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, my first impression was not a good one, right? I was like, this looks like a kiddie game. This is a game for beginners. This is a game for the 800 million people that played Pokemon Go, their entry point into Pokemon. So I guess I was a little disappointed. But as I've rewatched the trailer and heard other people's thoughts, I've kind of warmed up on the game a little bit. But I do not think this is going to be a game for the hardcore Pokemon lovers to like really get into. There's not going to be any grinding in this game. I think it's going to be really for that entry level. It's going to be, I think it's going to be ridiculously easy. I think it's going to be like over the top cartoony, very family friendly, very kid friendly. And that kind of scares me. I mean, the Pokeball that you can buy with it has a joystick and I think one button.
Yeah.
Like how much depth could there be in a game with a joystick and one button or two buttons? Like all those things just scare the
all
depth
the
out of me.
all the Atari fans are screaming right now. No, but I do agree with you, and I this game is really for Pokemon Go fans because I was talking when I did the live stream when it first was revealed. You're going to be able to transfer Mr. Mimes over, which you can only get in Asia, in Europe or whatever. So this makes sense for the core Pokemon Go fans. My only fear about this game is Pokemon Go gets stale pretty fast. And the best part about Pokemon Go is traveling to like other towns and seeing gyms and seeing stops. This game, I don't think the map's going to be that big. So my fear is that this game is going to take maybe like 5 hours and then why am I going to go back to this game? That's my only thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's more than a 5. They better pack at least like a 10-hour story into this game. I mean, if there's 151 Pokemon in the game already that like I have no plans on playing any Go and incorporating any of the Go characters into the system, but I will try to capture as many Pokemon as I can in the game if it's fun to do so. If battling has a little bit of depth and there's some game mechanics that kind of hook me in. If it's boring and it's just like, all right, run to the next boss, beat the boss, get another Pokemon, upgrade him, next boss. If there's no like character arc and the main character needs to overcome some adversity, maybe I don't know, maybe breaks his leg or something, or Pikachu falls down a river, you got to go save him.
Joe, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean everything Jesse just said about what Let's Go is what Pokemon is, though. It is family friendly. It is cheesy, over the top, cartoony. Stories are, the stories are what they are. It is baby's first first RPG. Regardless of however you look at any of the generations, when you break it down to the core of what the battle mechanics are in that game, very traditional turn-based RPG. You can get into the IVs and the EVs, the breeding and everything and all that stuff down the road, but hold on 2 seconds.
I mean, so just to talk on Joe, I want to talk as much about Joe as I can while he's not there. But so I'm not looking for like Pokemon meets Bloodborne or anything.
Yeah.
But I am looking for that like grindiness hook.
Yep.
That like I was just saying, I'm looking for that grindiness hook that like RPGs are all about. It's not about being able to achieve something right away. It's about having to accomplish all these subtasks so you could finally upgrade and it feels rewarding. I'm just scared this game is going to go like A to B to C to D and then you're a Pokemon master.
But I think as far as like the time, like the length of that game, I'd still think it's probably going to fall somewhere within 20-30 hours at a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
If you look like the thing, you going through Pallet Town, you're going have the Nugget Bridge from Cerulean City, where you're going through to meet the dude that like accidentally clones himself as a Pokemon. They even showed the cave that Mewtwo's in and everything like that. I think in the shots you have the Saint Anne and all that stuff. So it looks like, you know, you're going through the same. Mount Moon was in there, Vermilion City was in there. It looks like you're going through all those same routes. So like this game, I think there's going to be some good depth to it in terms of like, you know, the way the original Red, Blue, Yellow story went. I think we still go across that path, and that's why I'm so confused as to why I think that this isn't like a fully fleshed out game. But they're selling this thing for $60, and they're selling two versions for $60. If you're getting a 5-hour story for of a Pokemon game, I'm talking about Pokemon specifically.
That's short.
That is absurd.
That's like the first 2 gyms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you know, we need more information. 2, I think we need to dial it back a bit. Really like observe like what's going on and wait for like more
I'm interested in how they're going to incorporate the Pokemon Go aspects of it, because I'm looking at my Pokemon Go right now and I have 143 out of 151 Kanto Pokemon.
Wow.
Beast.
I'm a beast. And so I don't know if it's gonna like unlock once you beat the game, or there's gonna be like special tickets that you need to get in the game. Like nothing has been explained yet. So I mean, you can play the game without Pokemon Go. I think that they made that clear. It's just the catching mechanics that are the same.
I think and I mean that Go mechanic, the catching thing, I'm not a big fan of, but as long as they don't throw that in my Gen 8, totally cool with it being a
it's gonna be in Gen 8. It's gonna be in Gen 8, 9, 10, 11.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing because I was like, what if they're implementing mechanics now to kind of test out for the new one? I was like, that Go mechanic has got to go. When mainline comes out, like that's got to go. I'll deal with it. But I think with the Go Park thing, trading, I think they have to re-roll the abilities, because like in Pokemon Go you only have 3 abilities, right? The HP, or attack, defense, and I guess there's 6 in the main. This is where like the IV and the E value.
It's gonna be weird how they translate level wise.
So I think they have to like re-roll all those attributes when you trade from Go to the Let's Go version.
Yeah. I even would have liked it if they kept the weakening Pokemon. Like, if they would have kept the randomized like encounters, if they would have kept weakening Pokemon and just had that like gimmicky throw thing, I think that would have been a little bit better. I'm not upset about this though. I'm looking at it from both sides, but I think this is going to sell well. And going back to your question, which we didn't answer at all, I think that Nintendo is going to be forced to make a second one. And if it is like Pokemon Go, where they are releasing different gens, you can only assume that they're going to keep releasing like one of these. And that's a good idea. Like, release these bi-yearly. That way the Pokemon fan base knows what to expect, and you get more gens, but not as frequently, because there's like 700, 800 Pokemon out now. It's a lot. I think it's too much personally, but
I think it's going to be exactly like Call of Duty or Forza. Like, there's probably 2 teams. One team's going to be working on a Let's Go. The other team's going to be working on the main line, rotating every year. I'm sure they're exchanging ideas. And it's just funny to think that we haven't gotten a mainline Pokemon on a Nintendo platform, like, ever really. And then in like 5 or 6 years, there's going to be so many of them, it's going to be like too much.
Yeah.
It's going to be like how Star Wars is right now.
Well, when you think about it, Pokemon's been almost yearly for a while. Granted, there's you throw in a couple of years there where they took breaks for like maybe 2. But if you look at the history, most of those games came out year after year, and then breaking the in between all that as well. I think there may have been like maybe 2 or 3 breaks in between mainline Pokemon.
Quality over quantity, though.
I have a question for you guys. If they did not announce that they're working on a true mainline Pokemon game coming out in 2019, do you think the fan reaction to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee would be the same, more excited, or people would be way more disappointed? Or you think it would be like...
That's a good point. I think that they announced. See, the Pokemon fan base is complete like cancer. It's trash because they're so critical, and half of the Pokemon fan base wants the original stuff, and then the other half wants new and exciting things.
Can't wait.
And no one's happy when it comes out. So I think that they had to announce a hardcore mainline just to please those people. But guys, you're getting what? Like, there's going to be what, 5 Switch Pokemon games? Like, Pokemon Quest, I know is not for anyone, but it is for some people. So, like, what more do you want? Like, I just don't know what.
You forgot to mention the third group of people, the people who want new things, but when they get new things, they get entirely upset at the Pokemon company.
This isn't what I wanted. This game wasn't made exactly for me.
Even Pokemon Go, there's like split fan bases. It's just trash.
Yeah.
Insane. Like, dude, when I tell you I got crap in that stream for like telling people like, hold up, like wait, like
it's a very delicate topic.
Like, whoa, I'd never seen backlash like that before.
I don't know. For anybody that was like really excited for a mainline Pokemon game like myself, you cannot be upset with Let's Go Pikachu. Because if they didn't come out with this game, you'd be waiting another year regardless, right?
Yeah.
So this is a bonus. You should take it and be happy. Even if it's not for you, maybe you'll play it and get a few hours of fun out of it, you know? Or maybe on the other side, it'll be really fun and you'll end up playing it for 20 hours, you know? So
yeah.
Hard to argue.
And, you know, what you were saying earlier, the controller only has like a joystick and a button. That's, I mean, I think that they're kind of, they're looking for more users for these IPs. Like, we think of Pokemon as like a god tier franchise, but there are like younger kids that haven't got into Pokemon yet. Like,
True.
So I think that they're pleasing everyone, and you just kind of have to pick a game and just either wait for it or just be happy you even got it.
Yeah, little kids are going to be bringing that Pokeball to school with them, and their friends are going to be petting it. The marketing was a little funny. They had these like 2 beautiful women like out to brunch, and they're like, took out the Pokeball. That is not happening. I'm sorry.
I'll have a latte, and I'm just going to take care of my Pikachu right now. Oh, man. But I think that's all we got for today. That was episode 37. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, guys. By the way, # Team Pikachu. Got to throw that boy in. But yeah,
I'm still on the fence.
Yeah, on the fence. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a blast. If anybody that's interested, my channel is Turbo Jesse. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. Not Instagram, but YouTube. So find me there. And again, thank you guys for having me. I'm a huge fan. It was an honor being on. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, and Jesse's been on the channel before. We made Ash Top 5 in Indie, which is doing pretty well. I think it has like 600 views or something like that.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, boy.
And Joe, where can they find you, man?
At Joe After Work on Twitter, Joe After Work on Twitch. Pretty much it.
Sweet. You guys are here already. Also, Instagram, Twitter, at NintenTalk. Big announcement next week or next episode will actually be a live episode. That will be E3 Eve. Or no, E3 night. So we will all be either crying or rejoicing about what Nintendo has. I'll also be doing a pre-show on my channel. It's not going to be PMP. It's probably just going to be a bunch of dudes, Jesse. And yeah, so it's going to be a bunch of people, and I'll announce that on Twitter. So thank you guys very much, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace out, Preston.